Hello, and welcome to another episode of Women Need to Do Better. I'm your host, Shelley, the Stress Stopper, and you have joined us for the second episode in the six-part series on stress. If this is your first time here, welcome. Pull up a chair. You found the right place. We are talking about high achieving women and the stress in our lives. And I think that today's episode is really going to hit home for a lot of you. We're talking today about that helper brain. And before you go thinking about that helper brain being, oh, yes, everybody loves help. I help everyone. This is wonderful. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that helper brain that never turns off. That part of your brain that is always 5 steps ahead, or it's running the backup plan for the backup plan for the backup plan. We're calculating what might need to be done, what could go wrong, who needs what, when are you going to do it. That list, it's that part of your brain that gets you exhausted because it's running even when you are technically resting. And it could look something like this. Think about the last time you went to go relax. And that could be, that moment that you sat down in between chores, or maybe it was out with a friend. Maybe you went to go take a walk. Maybe you were finally getting a chance to have some you time and take that long needed bath. And you were in quiet, there was stillness around you, but your brain, it did not shut off. It was running a full board meeting. It's talking to you about who needs to be picked up, what that text that you sent really meant that you responded to. Did you turn the slow cooker off? What do we still need in the refrigerator? What's on that grocery list? What happens if I don't get everything done by Friday? Did I give a look to that teller when I was in the bank? I really hope she didn't think that I was being rude. And that's the part that I want you to sit with. Every time that you try to stop thinking about something, does something else pop up in its place? Have you ever really been able to just kind of sit back and relax without your mind still running its programming? Do you actually get to relax and not feel guilty for it? Not feel guilty that you are sitting alone, even with that to-do list that's growing, and maybe you feel like I don't have time for this because there's just so many things to do and not enough time to do it. This is what I'm talking about. That's that helper brain. It's running your life from the background, whether you want it to or not. So let me explain exactly what that helper brain really is. And we didn't get here overnight. Some point in our lives, usually early in our lives, early part of a relationship, early role that we had where someone put us in charge, or we just took that ownership of responsibility. We taught ourselves from that point all the way till now that it's our job to anticipate that next move. Who needs what could happen, and how we're going to pivot. And I'm not talking about like just responding to what's going on at the moment or reacting to something that's going on. We have taught ourselves how to anticipate future things, what might go wrong, what someone might need, what problem could come up, and be ready just in case. We've got plan B, plan C, plan D, and they're all running simultaneously in our brains. And it kind of felt like a superpower, right? Like you feel empowered, like I am responsible. I am the one that people just can't do it like I can do. And it feels good. We have pride in ourselves for that. But even though you've been the one who always had it covered, who's always been reliable, capable, the person that everybody counts on, it stops being a superpower when we don't have that off switch. That same brain that has kept us prepared, that's made us who we are, scanning for at work what might come up, what things might be due, what might be going wrong, let's catch it before it happens, or at home, you know, family schedules, what kind of things are needed on that grocery list, or did we sign the permission slip? Did the appointment get made? All the things. Is everything manageable, right? All the activities we have going on, all the responsibilities, that same brain that makes you that phenomenal planner is also the one that makes it impossible for you to just sit and relax. And that's the part that makes it really hard. It's cruel, in fact, is the harder we try to turn it off, the harder it is, the louder our brain is just spinning. And it's because it's the helper brain. It's looking for threats. It's doing exactly what we've been training it to do for decades. But the problem is the training never included that off switch. It never got trained how to clock out. And that's what happens. The brain is running and running and running. Our bodies are on full alert. Our nervous system doesn't know how to shut down. It doesn't know how to detach from all the things going on in our head. And I'm talking about things that haven't even happened yet. Does it sound like you? Have you ever been in bed so tired and exhausted from your day? Close your eyes. You're trying to go to sleep, but the only thing that happens in your head is, oh, you're running through tomorrow's schedule. You're running through what's on the grocery list. What do I have to do? Times, places, people, all the things. And your body is responding to all these things like it's happening right now. And we've been on autopilot for so long that it's just this low grade, very quiet, consistent, never ending signal that says, alert. Okay, don't fully rest because something might be missed, something might be forgotten. And scientists call this hypervigilance. I call it living on high alert with no days off when you are just 24/7. And the thing about that high alert living is it is exhausting and nobody really sees it but you because you're living it. And you're living that high alert not because something terrible is happening right now, but you're bracing for just in case. You're just constantly aware. Again, hypervigilance, right? And that's why the weekends, they come and go so fast, and we never really get fully recharged because we don't ever really turn off our brains and disconnect so that we can get the rest that we really need. That's why you can be sitting in a completely quiet, peaceful, calming environment, but your brain is still running through its process. And it's not because you're broken, it's not because you're wrong, it's just that this is what you've trained yourself to do. You've trained your body and you've trained your mind because that's what we're good at. We're good at solving problems. And again, because we're so good at solving problems, we can also teach ourselves to change how we're running on autopilot. Has this ever happened to you? This is my story of this one time, and this is kind of one of those aha moments. So, my best friend, she usually texts me, but she had called me. So, anytime she calls me, I know that that's a big deal. So, I answered her phone call. She was having just she needed an event session. So, absolutely, I am there for her. She's been there for me every time. So, we had planned, carved out some time, got hubby set up with, this what's going on with the kids. He's fine, whatever, right? So I meet up with my best friend. We're having coffee and we're sitting right across from each other. Pretty quiet day, quiet morning, not a lot of noise. So we're just talking, we're laughing, catching up. But in my head, I really wasn't present. Part of my thoughts were back at home, wondering what's hubby doing with the kids? Are the kids fighting? Did the did the permission slip get signed? Did I write down that doctor's appointment on the calendar? Oh, when am I going to come home to? Is he going to start lunch for me or not? And then if my phone buzz, I'm looking at it, just making sure that it doesn't need a response right away. I'm doing like real time math in my head. How long have I been gone? What do I need to do when I get back? And I'm only half listening to my best friend. So then again, now I'm feeling guilt. I'm feeling guilt for all the things that are going on at home that I haven't gotten to yet. I'm feeling guilty for being out with my best friend and not really giving her my full attention. And am I being selfish? Like, I know I deserve the time, but do I really believe I deserve that time? Here I am in the coffee shop with my best friend, time carved out. Like, there should be no reason I'm not fully present. I'm safe. Nothing's going wrong at the time. Nobody really needed me in that moment. But for whatever reason, my nervous system did not feel like that. And my helper brain wasn't checking the facts of, look, I've I've got the time. Hubby can handle it. I'm here with Bestie. Let's engage. Because that helper brain just runs on autopilot in the background, making sure I'm staying plugged in. Don't fully disconnect because you don't know what might go on. You don't know what might happen. You got to be prepared. That preparedness, right? Somewhere along the lines, maybe you learned that too, that it's not safe to like fully disconnect because fully disconnecting, something might fall through the cracks. Maybe when you disconnect and you come back, you're going to forget that one thing that you were trying not to forget. So my attention is just on all the things, trying to hold everything together. And in those moments when it's just supposed to be me and my bestie, or when I'm trying to relax, it's just supposed to be about me not thinking about anything. I was struggling to fully be there for myself, to fully unplug. Maybe you know what that feels like. Maybe for you, it's not a date with your bestie. Maybe it's that walk that you take to just kind of clear your head, right? Not think about things, but to not think about things. Or maybe it's that bath you finally got, or it's those few moments before you fall asleep. Or my favorite, vacation time. How many of you take your laptop or your work phone with you on vacation and you're sitting in a beautiful place? Maybe for me, I love being on the beach with my cup of coffee, listening to the waves. And still, my brain is doing an inventory on all the things. And the problem is the location changes, but the pattern, that doesn't change. And that's part of the problem. So I'm going to say something directly to you. And I'm talking to myself as well because I wish somebody would have told me this a long time ago. This is not a character flaw. It's not something that is bad of me. I'm not a bad friend. I'm not a bad wife. I'm not a bad mom. I'm not a bad whatever. Neither are you. It's just what we've taught our nervous system and our brains to not rest because we're rewarded by all the things that we do, all the people we've helped, how dependable we are, how irreplaceable we are, that stopping, pausing, not doing those things felt unsafe. But that's what this episode is about. It's to tell you that it is something that you can absolutely work on. There is definitely a way to shift that. So picture this, okay? How many of you look at your phones right now? How many tabs do you have open or apps do you have open on your phone? Because that's kind of what we're doing. All these apps are draining our energy, draining our power, and they're all running on autopilot in the background. And it's slowing everything down. That's what our helper brain is like. And ironically enough, here, I'm going to check my phone right now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 apps open. I'm a little embarrassed. How many of those have I actually needed right now or have been looking at? Maybe a couple of them. But that's what I'm talking about. No wonder I'm tired. No wonder you're tired. So what do we do about this? Well, I'm not going to tell you to meditate or journal or take deep breaths or do that 17 morning routine. It starts with one thing. And we're all about building baby steps to the next step because those baby steps turn into habits. And so this first step that I want you to try is called the permission pause. It's when we are acknowledging. We have to be aware of what's going on in order for us to make a change. So the next time that you sit down to actually rest, Put your phone face down, or even better, put it in a different room where you cannot even hear it. Sit in a spot where there's nothing in front of you to distract you and pay attention. See if even if you are sitting in a quiet room with nothing distracting around you, are you able to detach and let your mind not think about anything? Pay attention to that. And the one thing I want you to say, and you need to say this out loud because it changes when you hear your actual voice versus just saying it in your head. There's a big shift in how much it helps you, and there's scientific proof behind this. So say this out loud. I have permission to rest. The people I love are not going to fall apart in the next 20 minutes. The, the to-do list will still be there, but I'm allowed to put it down. I know you're thinking, saying it out loud, that's ridiculous. It sounds like it's too simple. That's not going to stop my brain. And you know what? You're right. You are absolutely right. The first time is probably not going to stop you from doing it again because your brain has learned this over decades. It's had years of practice. So it's not going to change in one afternoon. But what it will do is it will interrupt that automatic loop that you have. It's going to introduce a new choice where you can choose to be anxious and running those thoughts and always on that hypervigilance of what needs to be done so nothing falls through the cracks. Or you can choose to say, that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm choosing something different. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten. And you're not trying to quiet your brain or silence it. You're just gently reminding yourself it's safe to take a break and to detach. So say it out loud. I am choosing, I have permission to take a break. Nothing's going to fall apart in the next 20 minutes. I'm allowed to put this down. I am safe. It is okay. Whatever words that you need to hear yourself say that give you permission to not have guilt about it, to remind yourself that 20 minutes is not going to be the end of the world. It's not going to make anything fall apart. You can give yourself 20 minutes. And the more you do this, the retraining starts to happen. Again, baby steps. And you'll start to see that you're able to detach a little more often, or maybe for a little bit longer. That's called nervous system retraining. It starts with that one small little bit of permission that you give to yourself. And maybe it's not 20 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 5 minutes. Start small. Just do it. Just do that one thing. That's your assignment. Before the next episode, before we get into episode 3 of our 6-part series, and I mean this, say it out loud. Just that one thing, right? I have permission to take a break. Nothing's going to fall apart in the next, you insert whatever time limit you've got. It'll be okay. So I hope that this resonated with you. I do hope that you try this out loud, however many times, at least once a day. I wish you guys all the breaks that you need so that way you don't just stay on that autopilot and exhaust yourself. Okay? So, but this is all about acknowledging, noticing, not judging it, just noticing. Okay? Remember that you've got permission to take a break. So, next week, next week's going to be really fun. Episode 22 of this in my podcast, but it's the third of the 6 series on stress. We're going to be talking about something that's probably going to make you a little uncomfortable because we're talking about something that looks like helping, it feels like helping, but it's not really actually helping. And I'm going to share some stories about how I've discovered it. And it's something that a lot of us do. And when we're doing it, we actually don't realize that we're doing it. And I bet you that if I told you you're doing this, you'd almost immediately deny it. So I'm going to call that out next week. Episode 22 is going to be saving versus helping. Okay. And if you've loved this episode, please share it with somebody else that it might help. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. If not, click the button. And before you go, I do want to give you this one other takeaway. I have in my show notes, there's a free survival mode self-test. And this test is about seeing what kind of stress level you're at. It's going to take about 3 minutes to fill out. And I'd really love to hear about your input on what you felt about that. So please take it, come find me, DM me, drop me a comment, let me know how that stress test, how accurate you felt it was, because sometimes you're not quite prepared to hear the truth. And that's what I'm all about, is being upfront and honest, but with no judgment. And I would love to see you get a little less stress and start living lighter. So join me next week for episode 22, Saving versus Helping. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I love you guys, and I will see you next week.